Okay, we'll go ahead and call the Board of Public Works and Safety for Peru, May 15th, 2018 order. First, we have the reading and approving of the minutes. Do I have a motion to accept the previous meeting's minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Next, we have the payment of claims. We have a very light period these 2 weeks, $78,751.55. Tish, I know you said that it's we didn't have any large payments. I don't know if you want to add anything
Small
else.
bills, no insurance, no bond payments, nothing like that.
So, is there any questions from the board on the APVs?
Nope.
Is there any questions, comments from the public on the city's payment of claims? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the payment of the claims?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have no blight claims this month or this period. Next, we have the city attorney report.
Nothing at this time for the Public Works.
Thank you. We have 2 items that are unfinished business. Christina Cornfield harvesting capabilities says Mrs. Guarto was to be contacted. I do not know that they were contacted. Do you know?
She's here. We're here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
We are.
All right. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah, there was a change of location.
It was a matter of question
That's
of how
right.
much of that area and how far down it was going to go.
That's right. Would you guys, one of you folks like to talk to us about the changes you're requesting?
Good evening.
Good evening, Cheryl.
And this is Christine Gornto. We're here, well, we did make changes to the location, and I think that's been approved, but we're here to get approval for serving alcohol.
Actually, no, we're
We're
not.
not? Oh, well, it's been another change. Okay.
We sent the letter when there was a change. The
Mhm.
original letter was sent stating we want to go ahead and do the event again at the normal location, and we hadn't secured the okay from Smitty's that they were going to be there. But we wanted to make sure that we had the area secured to begin with. Then later when Smitty's came on board and said, sure, we're going to do that, we added that to the letter. And then the Community Foundation had asked us if we would move from our normal location, starting at the Lion's Head going west. If we would start at the west end and kind of go eastward so that we could share the same space with them for their 25th anniversary. That way it's kind of a bigger event and it kind of draws more attention to both of us. And so we agreed to do that. As far as we know, starting at the very west end, moving eastward, we're not sure how far down we're going to go because we've never been there before. And the shelters are further down. So we had talked about it, and we think that we might want to use the one closest to the west. We actually went down and walked it, thought, you know what, maybe if we do end up with the 50 that we're shooting for this year, we might need that one. So if that is available, we'd like to add that in there, is what we're looking at.
So this would be right directly behind the skate park? Are you going all the way down
Behind the
to?
Riverview Event Center, the very end of it, starting there and going east.
Right. Just moving closer to the event center.
It's right behind it, actually, yeah.
Have you talked to anybody at the event center yet?
Yes.
And how's Brian about this?
I assume you're on board. The Community Foundation set it all up with you, she said?
No, Brian Aggie.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's all set, and she asked if we would join, and we thought about it and thought, you know, we've never been that far down. Having a partnership for it one time might be a good thing. It might be something in the future we could do again. So
Are they allowing you to use the parking lot as well then for the event?
the parking lot will only be used, half of it, the half closest to the skate rink, is going to be used by us, and it'll be strictly for just our handicap parking. We're still going to keep our event on the grass area on both sides of the walk as usual. It's just going to be moved down further. The half of the parking lot closest to the event center excuse me, will be used for the community foundation. And the back parking lot, we're discussing if we're going to go ahead and let all the volunteers and people running the events, we're going to use that for parking.
Okay.
And I
'Cause you got
did
the-
bring, sorry, I'm not a very good drawer.
Oh, you're perfect.
I brought, and all the things I have to put on it, but I brought this for you all to take a look at. I apologize I didn't make a copy.
And Brian is on our board, so.
Yeah.
Brian's on the board?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Yes,
this,
so he
as you can
knows.
see, these are not on there permanently, so we can move them as things change. Again, because it's a new place we're moving down to, things are going to have to be moved as we find out. I just recently spoke with a gentleman that we rent our porta pot and our hand washing station from. And he said, I let him know we moved it further down west, and he said, well, it can't be more than 15 feet off of a paved or gravel. I have trouble with my trucks. So now we're having to look at, if we go further east enough, there is a spot that is cement that we could put one at. We like to always have one at each end. So the one behind the event center, there's a slab we can put it on. But the one to the east, we think we're going to end up putting it there. So again, that one might change.
Gotcha. Okay. So Brian's been a part of all this planning and whatnot, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And there is a spot when you are pulling into the parking lot at the event center. From where the parking lot is to the river, there's not a bunch of grass there. So we won't have our cookers or tents right there because there isn't enough room. So that'll be like the entrance to come in, and we plan to have the board where you can stand behind it, put your face through a hole and take a picture. We'll also put a small tent up or a table so you can buy a drink or something. So it's kind of, the area will be filled in, it just won't have the cookers right there, there's just really not enough space. So it'll be this side and this side of the parking lot.
Gotcha. Okay.
And from what I understand, Smitty's is supposed to procure the necessary licensing to, okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's typically up to them to do, and then they send in a little map to the excise to let them know what they're doing.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that we have permission to serve alcohol since it is our event.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you said you might want to add the shelter that's in there too?
That's a possibility. We still don't know how it's going to work out, again,
Right.
because it's a new area that we're moving to. But if it is available, we would like to secure it for the day,
Okay.
just to make sure.
Right, and you'll have to call my office and talk to either Ashley or Brenda and make sure that it's available, because they keep track of the schedule.
Right.
Okay.
And this one's just west of the Miami's Fort.
Right.
What's the date? What's the date?
It's going to be that first Saturday in October, should be October 6th. And we usually show up about 5, 6 a.m., start getting things set up. Check-in will be between, was it 6 and 7?
7, uh-huh.
Yeah.
First Saturday in October, which is the 6th.
Yes.
There's no pavilion rentals on there, so it should be available.
Oh, okay. And you said it's from 5 p.m. to, or what were the
AM.
times? 5 a.m.
AM.
And you guys are done?
We're usually done by 3.
Yeah,
That's when
around
we
3.
give out our awards and announce everything. And so by the time everybody is cleaned up and the trash is all taken out, we're looking for about 5 p.m.
Okay. 5 to 5. Okay. All right. And so we're going to do a vote on approving them to sell or to have their liquor sales there, and then the location. And it sounds like it's centered around the event center. You got stuff around the event center, but people from the event center are on your board. They were part of this planning process, so obviously they're on board.
Right.
Is the request for the fees to be waived at the pavilion or just to use the pavilion?
Well, and I know we discussed too that along with the, when we did the amphitheater, we said kind of guidelines, so we're not doing it on instant by instant, like whether or not they're getting it. If it's a 501c3 on the smaller shelters, we go ahead and waive the fee. So, and I let Ashley know too. I know there's another request on new business for the waive the shelter fee. I told Ashley, just go ahead and let people know that if it's a 501c3, they don't need to go to the Board of Works to put that on there. Excuse me. So you guys would obviously qualify for the fee waiver.
Right, waiver.
Yeah. So, and I didn't realize Tish had the information to know whether or not it was available, so apparently it is available.
Yes.
So we can make sure and mark that down.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions from the board? Any clarifications?
Oh, picture says it all.
Okay. I'll give that back to you. Is there,
Thank you very much.
thank you, Cheryl, thank you. Any questions from the public? Any comment? Okay. You guys just want to do this in one vote as far as the location and alcohol sales, or you want to do it two separate?
I think we can do it all in one. It's one event.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to accept harvesting capabilities requests?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next, unfinished business, we have the Wampler Street request for yes.
Come up here.
Sure.
I had spoken at the last city council meeting about a crosswalk of protection between our church in South Peru, the Apostolic Center, and the Children's Church, which is right across the street. Not a very, very big area. We have a busy church, a lot of children. For the past few weeks, I've been walking the children across the street and stuff like a crossing guard and everything for the protection and safety. Children come first as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of people in the city. The petition that I took before the city council meeting the last time around was tabled. They were trying to figure out the most economical way to be able to do it as far as what would be more feasible. Obviously, they didn't think that painting stripes across there. To me, and I've been thinking about this, I don't think it's really asking a whole lot for a couple child protection crossing cones on both sides of the road. We can keep one in the church parking lot or towards church, one on the opposite side, big tall cones, children's crossing. And I don't think, economically, I don't think it's asking a whole lot to request for the city to be able to do this. Like I said, we have one of the fastest growing churches in town, and like I said, actually quite a few children. And we're always looking out for their safety first and foremost. As I had stated before in this last city council meeting, there is a lot of traffic in South Peru, like there is in a lot of other areas in this town. And it doesn't take much for, just like last year when somebody spun out of control from the McClure's parking lot on a motorcycle on a Sunday, not surprisingly, and somebody was really, really badly hurt. But like I said, and especially in the summer months, a lot of people have motorcycles out and cars out, and there's a lot more activities going on. I'm just trying to look out for just like everybody else in town, for the protection of the children first and foremost. A simple request to have a cone on both sides of the street in our church parking lot and across there. And of course, I would guide the children across and stuff like that. Like I said, just to make sure that nothing happens, as I have been doing the past few weeks. So I don't think it's asking much from the city or the city street department for a request for a couple of child protective cones. I know they do them in school areas all around town, which is fine. That's the way it should be. They also have crossing guards too. I don't think it's that much of a request from the city to request a couple of children's cones, and that's all I'm requesting. Safety cones.
Todd, do you know what the cones,
Well, I was going to say, I was just down there a few minutes ago, and earlier, last week, we went down and looked at it. There's that Wampler and, not Wampler, Warren and Wampler intersect right there, and the north end of their parking lot is a sidewalk, and then on the west side, northwest side of that house is a sidewalk. There's a stop sign already there, on the north end of Wampler.
Mhm.
We can just paint down a crosswalk right there, and just like we do all across the city. Put a stop bar at the stop sign and a crosswalk,
Mhm.
and then, as far as cones go, I've got some that you guys could refurb that I don't use anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be fine.
They've got black marks and people ran over them, but they're still intact. You know, you can just put whatever you want to put on the front of them, but you'd have to clean them up.
And what,
And they're 30 inches, so.
yeah.
But, yeah, the painting down the crosswalk there, I mean, as from a legal standpoint for the city, we wouldn't be putting a crosswalk
In the middle of the
between
block.
the two stop signs in
Right.
the middle of the block, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you know, and we'll glass bead it so it shines at night and everything, and people get used to it, but, yeah.
And what I'll do is, I can keep the cones inside of the church until the church starts. We started our service a couple weeks back on Saturdays instead of Sundays now, and I can keep the cones inside of the church until the services start, put them on both sides, and obviously put it back in the church at the end of the services, if that would be okay with you.
Yeah, no, you know, if you guys want the use of the cones that we're not using at the traffic department, I don't see an issue with that. I think that, you know, what you're doing now, the service that you're providing, making sure the kids are crossing the street and there's adult supervision there, I think that's probably the most invaluable piece of making sure that they're okay crossing the street. I don't think any amount of paint on the ground will do as much as someone like yourself there,
That's
keeping an eye on the
that's
kids.
fine. That's fine.
Right.
What I'm saying is, I know there's different schools from Elwood all across town where they do have the child crossing, you know, sidewalks and stuff. And like I said, we have a growing church, and actually quite a few children in our children's church also too. You know?
Right. And like Todd said, we have the crosswalk at a stop sign. It's far more safe for you and the children
Well, that's
at the stop sign. So I like that.
That crosswalk, that sidewalk's only about 50 feet north of your back door there.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they come out that door and go across to that house, and it's within, you know, once you cross the street, you're 25 feet from the front door of that youth center. So I think we just utilize putting down white crosswalks and a stop bar.
That's fine. That's
And I really don't want to put up like we do at the school, because we simply do those at the school because it's a everyday thing for
Right.
9 months a year.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Alright.
so the paint would be feasible, then that's fine. I wouldn't have no problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yep,
Appreciate it.
thank you. All right. And seeing as that's at a regular crosswalk there, I don't think that we'd need to take any action for you to paint crosswalk there at the stop sign.
It'd be white paint or yellow paint?
Just
White.
white.
White
White.
paint, okay. Thank you.
And then you also have a couple old cones you're not using, okay. So I don't think there's any action to be taken on that.
Sounds like Todd's got this taken care of.
Yep, thank you, Todd. All right, moving on to new business. I did let Ashley know for the Lost Limbs Foundation that we have a policy in place for the fee being waived for the 501c3 for the shelters. So I don't believe we'll need to take any action on that. We can move past that on our agenda. Next, we have Proof Fire Chief Hawk, road closure request for June 10th, and 4 tables from the Parks Department. Would you like to talk to us about that, Chief?
This will be our second car show. Last year was our first one. It's sponsored. Lester Walden does a car show. We pretty much just open our doors for him to come in. They close off the street there, right in front of our station on Canal. So basically, it's Napa. It's on a Sunday, so there's no traffic, and we don't have a problem with it. He's just requesting a road closure on his behalf. Last year, we set up our own food booth. We used the money from that to sponsor kids for Christmas, and then his car show goes to all the charity. They pick a charity, and then they distribute the money out. So just asking for that road closure.
Okay, and that's, is that Miami Street
Miami, down
To-
Cass.
to Cass? Gotcha, okay. And that's the same place we closed it last year, is that correct?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same thing as last year.
Okay. Is there any questions from the board on that?
No, any concern from the fire department?
If it rains, we get the trucks wet, so we put them all in the parking lot and then we head down Cass Street, so.
Gotcha. All right. Any question or comment? Thank you, Chief. Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks. Any other questions from the board?
Nope.
Any question, comment from the public? Do I have a motion to accept fire department's request for road closure?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have Todd from the traffic department with a road closure request for May 28th for Memorial Day service.
Yeah, the military rights honor guard, they put on that, their Memorial Day service up at the courthouse. I think there's several people from the courthouse speak. Jay speaks, the VA guy. Last few years, they haven't been closing that off, but they're getting into a noise problem. And
Gotcha.
yeah, they're not getting much. There's a lot of yelling going on because they can't, because of the traffic that runs past there. And it's a little bit safer, I think, if we can just close it off from 10:30 that morning to noon. In between, it'd be Main Street to 5th. And I'll run up and slide them out because those old guys from my father-in-law, they ain't got the wind to pull us across the road. I'll go up there and do it for them.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's all I need. And it's only gonna be, an hour, maybe, hour and a half. So
Gotcha.
that's it.
How long is the,
I think they start their program at 11 and they're done by 11:45, so I just kind of gave them a buffer.
gotcha. Okay. So this is on Broadway between Main Street and 5th. So just be a block there in front of the courthouse.
Monday, May 28th.
Do you know the businesses across the street from
That'd be
the courthouse?
Be the bank, that nail salon, artisan gallery.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I don't think that computer store's there anymore.
Yeah, it's there.
Is it still there? I don't know what their hours are on Saturdays.
Okay. Would want to notify them, let them know if those are hours that they would be open. That could be an issue for them. Any questions from the board?
Now, being Monday of Memorial Day weekend, that probably won't be as big of an issue with the bank
That's
and
true.
everything.
That's true.
Is notification something Ashley does or something?
Well, we don't have like a
System?
systematic notification when we do the road closures. I know it is Memorial Day, that's a good point. They may not be open, but when it's gonna be a road closure, where a business, their main access is affected, definitely wanna make sure that they're notified and taken into account.
I can run up there tomorrow and talk to them, and we
Okay.
can just, because we got another one 25th going.
Another meeting?
Yeah. No, that's not right. What's our next one?
I think,
It'll be
It'd be
June?
June,
Yeah, it'll be June.
Okay.
okay. I mean, we can go ahead and give approval, know that we're gonna give them, that notification,
And it's a short window as well. It's not like it's an all-day,
right?
Even the nail salons will make a park on the corner and walk. It's not gonna stop their business.
Yeah.
I don't think they were open last year. I was up there last year.
Those would be the only ones that I would think that might, just because
Yeah.
they don't close too often.
Yeah. Do we have, like a detour signs? We could detour people around, the block to the west, I think, and over.
Yeah.
We might wanna do that with how traffic that road is. Steve, do you have any other question or suggestion with that?
I don't have any issue with it.
Okay. Eric, do you have any? Okay. Alright. Yeah, I think if we especially put a detour sign around there. I think that would help a lot too. Is there any other comment or any question? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the traffic department's request for the road closure?
So,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Thank you, Todd. All right. I think that is it for this meeting, unless there's anything else anybody would like to bring report. Okay. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.